Hey, thanks for joining me back here at Laser Engraving 911. As you can see, I am out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, attending the APA show, the Awards and Personalization trade show. And the reason I came out here is so I could interview a bunch of vendors, particularly vendors that are in the laser engraving category. Vendors like Epilog, Romart, all kinds of different vendors that I use in my laser engraving business. And I came all the way out here to do some fireside chats with some of these vendors and get to know them a little better and learn about their company so I can bring it back to you and see if that's something that you might be interested in. So I might have to break these series of videos up in a couple of different parts, but this is the first one of the series. If that sounds like something you want to get into, then buckle up, get your pen and paper out, and let's get into it on Laser Engraving 911. Michael, I'm here today to talk to you about Epilog's newest machine, which is the Fusion Galvo unit. And you've been nice enough to take some time with me to talk about that today. So thanks for doing that.
Thanks for having me.
So I was, honestly, I have to tell you, I was not expecting to see any new units from Epilog at the show. So this was like a really big surprise for me to actually see that you guys have a compact fiber laser engraver. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about it?
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, it's our Fusion Galvo, and G100 is the model name.
G100.
And it's a standard fiber Galvo. It comes with two lenses, either a 163 or a 254, or it comes with both.
So like a 4-inch by 4-inch or like a 6-inch?
6 by 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
So 163 is the 4 by 4.
Yep.
And the 254 is the 6 by 6. And it's the lens is mounted on the gantry here, and the gantry moves up and down for focus.
So you have an automated Z-axis?
Yes.
Very nice.
And you can put something in here that's up to 10 inches tall and engrave on top of that.
All right.
But and the machine knows which lens is in here. So there's a little indicator back in the back here.
Okay.
And so when you take the 163 out, put the 254 in, the machine knows it and the software knows it too.
Okay.
And
that's awesome.
And so those two lenses are standard with the equipment.
Okay.
One of the really exciting features about this machine is that you print directly from either CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator, AutoCAD, whatever software it is that you're working with.
Dump that vector right into your job manager here. And
right.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Very nice.
And the job manager is where you set your laser parameters: speed, power, frequency, and waveform, hatch settings, cycles, etc.
And we're going to get into the software in a second.
Yep.
So just for those of you who may not know, what we're talking about is a fiber laser. And primarily fiber lasers are for engraving on metal and some polymers.
Right.
So you're not etching the surface, you're actually ablating the material with fiber lasers, able to carve into pretty much any metal known to man.
Yes.
With a fiber laser, which is pretty amazing.
You can, with the fiber, especially with the 60-watt fiber, you can get deep etching.
Right. That's what I was talking about. With the fiber laser, you can literally carve just like with the CO2, but you're actually removing metal.
Yep.
Right. You're not just doing an anneal mark on the surface. This machine right here, you can do some deep engraving.
Yep.
With the right wattage.
Right.
Right.
And this model comes in 3 different wattages: 30 fixed pulse, 30 MOPA, and 60 MOPA.
Fantastic.
So
all air cooled?
All air cooled.
Very nice. No chiller. No chiller taking up any unnecessary space.
Nope.
That's great.
So it's a nice compact unit, easy to set up and use.
Yeah, I know it looks big here, but actually the unit is just this right here. So it's got an automated shield.
It's got an automatic door. So when you're running a job, you hit the go button, the door closes automatically, and then it opens automatically when the job is finished.
Okay. And next question, does it come with a rotary attachment for doing things like rings and other cylindrical objects?
It does come with a rotary attachment. We have a 4-jaw chuck, and it tilts, so the unit itself has detents in it that you tilt it every 10 degrees. So, but that'll be one of the options for this machine.
Great. So if someone wants to get into jewelry engraving, inside of rings, outside of rings, bracelets, things like that, fiber laser, Epilog can handle all those things.
Yep.
Yeah. As far as training is concerned, someone who maybe just knows CO2 and they love their Epilog, but this is their first time really getting into a fiber laser, which is kind of a different animal. What kind of training will you be offering for this brand new unit?
Well, that'll be up to our distributors.
Okay.
But using the software, CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator, I always say is about 95% of the process.
Sure.
Running the laser is about 5% of it.
Okay.
There are not very many things you need to do. You need to set your artwork so that it engraves in the right location on your material.
Yep.
You need to set focus, and then you need to set your laser parameters. And what we're developing is a catalog of laser parameters for different materials and different types of marks.
Yeah, Epilog's always been really good at developing a good starting point for a lot of different materials when it comes to the CO2. So I'm not surprised that you would do that for your fiber lasers as well. Let's talk about focusing. What kind of focus technology does this use? Do you have a focal stick? Do you have a red beam pointer that joins when it's in focus? How does it do its focusing?
We have two different ways. One we call autofocus, and that's by measuring the thickness of the material and then inputting that into the job manager.
Okay.
And then the machine will automatically focus to that thickness of material.
Nice.
And then for anneal marks, you go out of focus.
Correct.
And so you can set an offset too. And then there's a mechanical way of setting focus, and that's with red dot pointers.
So you do have the red dot pointer features if someone wants to use that.
We do.
For something that's maybe odd shaped that has multiple planes on it that you can't just input the thickness because it's, at an angle. You'd have to focus right to that top point.
Right.
Yeah. So how does that work? It's crosshairs, it looks like?
It is crosshairs, and there's a red dot pointer. And as I move the carriage up or the head up and down, you can see the red dot pointer moving. And
once it's in the center,
once it's there,
you're in focus.
You're in focus.
I'll have to get some footage of that. That's cool. Usually what I see on some of the other fiber lasers is they have two dots that kind of intersect like this.
Right.
But you guys have taken it one step further and given a crosshair and one dot that needs to go in the middle of the crosshair.
Right.
I like that. That's awesome. And I see you've got some fume extractor hoses for direct, really close fume extracting built in.
Right.
Yep, those are in there right there.
Those are right here, and they're adjustable, so you can put them anywhere you want.
And I guess we should talk about one of the coolest features that you have in here, which is the camera system.
Right.
So you have a camera, just like with the other Fusion, the Edge and the Edge Pro and all those that have the Iris, I believe it's called.
Right, the Iris
system.
camera.
So you have another camera in here for registering your marks and your graphics specifically on a specific point on the object being
right. I can then go to the computer and center my artwork exactly where I want it to go. And it's such a high resolution camera that it's accurate to within less than 5/1000ths of an inch.
Seriously?
Yes.
So I guess now we'll kind of go over to the job manager and maybe we can bring up this part that you have loaded in there on the camera and just kind of go through some of the features and how to set the settings and stuff. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Great. So now we're over here at the Epilog Galvo job manager, but first we're in CorelDRAW.
First we're in CorelDRAW.
So you've got your art. You've got your art.
I've got my artwork set up. Control P, return. And it goes to our job manager.
So right away, here's our job manager. For those of you with Epilogs, this probably looks kind of familiar, right? But this is hooked up to their new Galvo. And I can see that the object over here, we have the bottle opener inside the case here. And you can see that targeting laser that we were talking about. And then we'll come back over here, and you've got your graphic now superimposed using the camera over the object.
And I'll turn off the focus so that we get rid of the red dot pointer on the screen.
So, so you brought in your art, and you've got your working area. I see it's 4x4. And you can go ahead.
And I can move my artwork. I can shrink it because it's a little bit too big. For this piece, but I'm just going to shrink it. Vector artwork. It's centered right now. There are construction lines that we can use to help us guide where we place the object. I can put construction lines around my object, and
like rulers,
then I
virtual
like rulers
kind of,
and snap to.
Nice.
So we won't go into that yet, but we're now ready to set our job parameters.
Okay.
And
so we've got it where we want it.
This is the size that we want.
This is where the customer wants it. We'll just pretend we're doing a real job here. And then we're going on to the next step, parameters.
Okay, laser parameters. So we open up the process. This particular job has 2 processes, and the laser parameters are here. So we have speed, power, frequency, and waveform, and also the line spacing. And you can also set the angle of your engraving.
Is this in inches right now?
It's in inches.
Okay.
And also the number of passes. So for this particular image, what I'm going to do is we've already established job parameters for some materials and some laser wattages.
Like anodized aluminum.
Like anodized. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go import, and I'm calling this blue anno white mark. I import it, and these are the job settings that I'm going to use. So
there it is,
100 speed. And there are 2 hatches for this particular job because we're going to run it, one at 0-degree angle and the other at 90-degree angle.
Understood.
And so these are the parameters that we have. This is the line spacing, so 1.5 thousandths of an inch. And a 0-degree angle here, a 90-degree angle here. And we're ready to print.
And we're ready to go. So we've dialed in what settings we want to use. We've picked our frequency. Now, when you say wave, is this a MOPA?
It is a MOPA.
Oh, okay. All right. That's why I was asking.
So the fixed laser would not have wave.
It wouldn't have it. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why we have the wave setting on this one. And I see can you pick different hatch patterns?
You can.
So if you go in there and you expand that, what kind of hatch patterns we got? Okay, there we go.
We've got 3 hatch patterns. So this one is vector.
Okay.
So you would do a vector outline on your objects.
Yep.
This is sweep back and forth.
Okay.
This is the next one. This one is unidirectional.
Yes.
But so we want sweep back and forth.
Okay. You have any future plans to expand those hatch patterns in the future? Should you get enough requests for them?
We do.
Okay. Yeah. I figure like this is all updatable if you wanted to update and add more hatch patterns and other features. And I noticed it said beta 6 right here. So there's room to grow and expand, I guess is what you're saying.
Yep.
Yep.
So, but we're ready to print.
Okay.
So I just come down here.
Yep. Go down.
I print.
Yep.
And it goes to the laser. And if we come over to our touch screen, you can see the...
Let me come on the other side of you, Mike. Go ahead.
We've got a thumbnail of the job, so you can see the compass.
Yep.
And the name of the job. So this is just compass from Romark.
Yep.
And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to verify that the job is in the right place by hitting our trace function.
I was going to ask you about that. And
okay, so now you can see the trace function, and you can see that the trace is tracing it exactly where I put it on the video.
Correct. And even if you weren't using the camera, you could still, at this point, do a live adjustment if you needed to.
If I wanted to.
You could just kind of shift it around. And
yep.
corner it up maybe on. I noticed we didn't talk about this, but you also have your grid table here for jigging things up and creating custom jigs.
Right.
That's really cool that you added that to the base too.
And so we're ready to print.
All right. So we traced. We did a little verification. Turn that off.
I'm going to turn the trace off, and I'm ready to start the job. The job is selected up here. It's highlighted, and I'm just going to hit the go button. And the door is going to come down.
Yep. There it is. And there it is.
And it starts engraving.
There's that first hatch at 0 degrees, right?
Yep.
And then it's going to do the 90 next.
Yes.
Yep. There it goes, coming from left to right. I'm a big believer that 2 hatch passes are always best.
Yeah.
Because it kind of hides the lines. Even though they are microscopic, it does a better job at making it look smooth.
It does. It smooths out the background.
It does.
And you can see it with a loop.
Very cool. And if you wanted to do a deep engraving right now, we could just set it on 8 passes. If you want, and just let it go and go and go until you got the depth that you wanted, right?
Right. You'd change your speed, you'd slow it down. And so the job is finished. The door goes up.
There we go. That is a very nice, clean, crisp engraving. You got all that little detail in there. I would expect that from the fiber laser. So let's say that we have this customer that we want to save the focus, we want to save the settings, we want to save the positioning. Can we do all that in the Epilog, except for the location of where it was?
Yes, you can save all of that.
Okay.
I can give it a name, and I can name it anything I want.
Yep.
And I can also create folders, subfolders. So if I want to have a folder for customer A and a folder for customer B, I can do that.
Very nice. I guess the last thing is Epilog sharing what kind of laser source you guys are using in here? What's your primary laser source? What brand is it?
So the JPT brand is what we're using.
Okay. So you went with JPT?
Yep.
That's for the 30, the MOPA, and the 60 watt, all of them.
Right.
JPT. Very nice. All right, Mike. Well, thanks for the demo on the new Epilog fiber laser. I think that was great. And if people want to learn more about the unit, where do they go?
They can go to epiloglaser.com.
Okay.
Then we'll guide them to our distributor, right?
That's fantastic. Rough ballpark base price for this unit for the 30 watt?
$17,000.
Wow, that's great.
So
I'm kind of surprised. That's actually really affordable.
It is affordable.
Okay.
And the 60 watt MOPA is about $28,000.
Great.
So if you want really high power and versatility, that's the way to go.
Great. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Michael.
Appreciate it.